Hey everyone, I'm Caitlin. Welcome back to my channel. We have two projects in store today. Planting up this strawberry pot and planting up another pot with some gorgeous blooming flowers that are looking just amazing right now. And then hopefully a beautiful surprise later in the season with some ranunculus corms that we're going to stick in as well. So let's get to planting. Okay, so this is a strawberry pot that I planted up a little bit ago. It's got to get some water in it as well. It is watering day, so that's why everything's looking a tad droopy right now, but still pretty good. We have a few strawberries on here. So the two varieties that we have in this container are Seascape and Gasana. The Gasana is actually a variety that's under consideration from the grower, so there's no picture, no real information on it. Whereas the Seascape is a pretty well-known one. Really sweet fruit on that. So we've got these two varieties already in here. Need to get this bad boy watered up. So what we're gonna do here is fill up the rest of the top here, and then I'm going to plant this gorgeous Bluebird Nemesia in the container. Now, Bluebird Nemesia, it is a full apart sun plant. It's going to get a pretty good chunk of sun here in the afternoon on this patio. We might throw it up on the rooftop as instead, just depending upon how I end up getting this area all situated. But it gets about 10 to 12 inches tall, and spacing is about 8 to 10 inches wide. So that mouth of that container is probably less than 10 inches wide. So one plant is perfect, and it's just gonna stick out over the top and show off these gorgeous purpley periwinkle blue flowers. And they've got a really pretty yellow eye. Let me get in closer here for you. So if you can see right there, that yellow eye is just adorable. It's like yellow and white kind of mix. And we've got a whole bunch of buds forming up too. So this is gonna just keep blooming and blooming and blooming. And it's really easy to kind of just deadhead and, you know, snip off these blooms once they're spent. Let these ones grow. It'll continue to keep pumping out blooms so long as you keep fertilizing it, which we have our water soluble plant food right there, which I can use in there, but that will technically make the whole thing inorganic. So what I'll probably just keep pumping it with is plant tone. That way it continues to stay an organic planter. Okay, so let's pop this in, and then I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll get to our next planter. It is absolute perfection. love how that looks. It is exactly what I was envisioning, having this beautiful, beautiful periwinkle popping out of here. Now, the terracotta pots, just in general, I am a huge fan of for really any planting, but yeah, they're really great for these strawberries. It's got a lot of airflow and makes it to where the roots are just really happy. I never plant in plastic when it comes to flowers or veggies. One, because I don't like the idea of planting in plastic for veggies especially, but two, it's too hot for the roots. I will plant in plastic for like house plants and stuff because you're not getting the same sun issues where it's baking the roots of the plants. And you can see my bags and bags of soil that we've got to throw away. But anyway, love how that looks. On to the next thing. Okay, so for our next planter, I actually have two different sets of corms kind of starting up. These are anemones. These are the Gaily pastel mix. There are 20 of these in here. And then these are the Salmon Ranunculus corms. And I'm getting them all nice and kind of swollen up again so that they're hydrated and ready to go. We are putting the salmon in the container that we're doing. I don't have intentions of putting the anemone in there. One, because I don't think it's the right color combo, and two, because it will not be enough space. So right here on the screen are the two colors that we're looking at here for the Salmon Ranunculus and the anemones. Really, really gorgeous. At some point we will plant these anemones up. I think today what we're going to do is put them into some nursery containers and get them kind of rolling, maybe 3 or so to a container. Actually, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm probably going to do 5 per container. That way we have four containers, 4 nursery pots of these ready to go, and we'll either put them in the same pot or different pots, but they look like little acorns here. And then on the ranunculus, here is what a corm looks like. You've probably heard them referred to as little octopus because they kind of do look like little octopus. So all of these tentacles are what you plant down. This part is planted up, so they go straight into the soil like this, and that's exactly what we're going to do. As far as our other plants go, we have 2 proven winners varieties and 1 non-proven winners variety. So let's take all of these out of this container here, and I will show you the container first. So this is a just stunner glazed terracotta pot. I am obsessed with it. I got it from Anderson's Nursery in La Costa in Carlsbad, and I bought a plain white saucer to go with it. The saucer was about $10, and this pot, that's probably a 12-inch wide pot, was $54. And that was quite a splurge because normally their pots are, especially terracotta, are really, really affordable. But this one, obviously, with the hand paintings and glazing and all that, was a little bit more. So, as far as the other plants, you can tell we're going with kind of a peachy salmon and blue theme. So with that, we have the Scaevola Premier White Compact. And this one gets 6 to 10 inches tall by 12 to 18 inches wide. I know I'm going overkill with this pot and planting it really, really heavy. But, I mean, it's going to look really pretty now. If anything dies out, like, I can take it out. If, you know, we decide we want a bigger container, I can put it in a bigger container. But right now, my hope is that it kind of all mixes together. And then you see popping out of it the ranunculus. And it just kind of looks like a wild, happy, gorgeous blue and peach mix. Okay, so next for our peach element, other than our Salmon Ranunculus, we have the Superbena Peachy Keen. This one gets about 6 to 12 inches tall and 8 to 12 inches wide. So says the tag. Now, Superbena in general get huge. I have grown this variety before, and I actually had one plant in a pot just like this, and it grew to where it was overflowing the pot and going down the sides and just huge. So it was probably about 24 inches wide at least. I could, in theory, plant one of either this or one of this or one of this in this planter, and it would be fine. But we're not doing that because more is more. So next is the Laguna Royal Azure Lobelia, and these are full to part sun. They handle sun a lot better than your traditional lobelias. I have grown the lighter blue variety, which shockingly the name is escaping me right now, and it grew absolutely beautifully in full sun. This one stays 8 to 12 inches tall and 6 to 8 inch spacing. So it's relatively the size that it's going to be according to the tag. We'll see. Again, most Proven Winners plants end up getting larger than the tag from what I have noticed. So let's put all of these into here, and then once we're done, we're going to plop our ranunculus in around that. And it already looks like a stunner. Can't even imagine what it'll look like when we have the ranunculus growing up through it. And I know there's some of you that are probably going to be like, there's no room. What are you doing? Why are you planting extra things in here? Because I want to and I can. That is the true answer. And, you know, it's gonna look really pretty, so don't worry about it. And like I said before, if it gets to a point where I'm like, there's too much in here, honestly, what I'm gonna do is pop this Scaevola out, and I'll just plant, I'll just make it to where, the Superbena kind of shoots this direction and the Lobelia shoots this direction. They'll intermingle. The ranunculus will come up and it'll be fine. And we'll just plant this Scaevola in another container. Easy peasy. But for now, this is what this looks like. So all that I'm going to do when the ranunculus have finished up their rehydration process is I'm just going to kind of go in, lift this canopy, make a hole in here, kind of like that, if you can see that right there, and then shoot the corm right down on in there. So one thing that I always do is I take my tags and I stick them in my planter. So we're gonna just plop those in right here and hopefully get them pretty good and down in there. Actually, we're gonna do them this way. There we go. Perfect. So now they're there, we can check on them whenever we want. And this will be getting the liquid fertilizer, the Proven Winners Premium Water Soluble Plant Food. This will happen once a week in this container just to make sure that it continuously stays charged and full of these gorgeous blooms, and it'll also help keep and get the ranunculus going, and it'll help with those gorgeous blooms as well, and keeping everything nice and green. So that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite Superbena variety from Proven Winners is, or if you have a particular Proven Winners plant that is your favorite, or maybe even a different company plant that's kind of along these same lines that is your favorite. Would love to know your thoughts on all of that. Personally, I do have a favorite Superbena, which you will be seeing in a later video. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope that this video gives you some inspiration and maybe permission to just do what you want when planting, and get creative with things, try things out. If it doesn't work, they're plants, they're pretty dang resilient, and you can move them, and they'll look beautiful no matter what, as long as you take care of them. So again, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.